Hey everyone. So we just got our new mod here, which is the MAD valve controllers. So thought I'll give it a try and install this. So pretty much what I wanted to do differently from what everyone is doing is everyone usually mounts it underneath the car. I wanted to mount it inside the car, but obviously I realized there's some challenges to that. So originally what I did is there's two grommets there. As you can see, I lost them. So the first one, I actually did use a hot knife and I tried cutting it. But the problem was the connectors were just ever so big enough that, I wouldn't really allow it. And the more and more I tried, pretty much the grommet just popped and fell through. So pretty much, I think this is how it's gonna have to be. So pretty much what I did is I got some foam noodles that I had laying around, those foam rolls, styrofoam rolls. And then I just put kind of silicone all around it. And then, yeah, so the two sides for the driver's sides, the two wires for the driver's side, they go right there. And then we got the passenger side, just the one valve. And pretty much, we come here, so you can see now, the valve, the wire from the MAD controller is right here. Shall I pull it a little bit down just to give a little bit more slack? And then this is the OEM one that's just hanging here. So that one you have to plug in to some there. So how you actually take it out is you just have to use kind of like a flathead, or I was able to use my nails and pop it out and it just came out. And then you just put this in, and then you got to make sure that you push this in all the way so that it locks. It's one of those clicking wire locks, I guess. And then this side, still gotta test it out, but what I did was the same thing, plugged in the new one. And then the only difference is the old original OEM wiring I just tucked into there. So I'm gonna see how that is. Yeah, so this side has a little bit of slack, so I'm gonna go back and make sure I give a little bit more slack just so it's not rubbing up against there. But yeah, it looks pretty good. So we're gonna take some sound clips in a bit, but this is pretty much the install. So yeah. Alright, so it's the next day here, and obviously you got the car cleaned up, and let's do kind of a cold start. It is kind of warm outside, but I did not use the car all of yesterday. So the really cool thing about this valve controller is this is open, and then this is kind of an interchangeable mode. This is unique to only the V2 software. So you basically have to like hold this through, and you can kind of hear it go from like 0, 25, 50, 75, and 100%. So right now I've set it to 0. And then this is your OEM setting. So I think most of the valve controllers I saw, they only have open and close. The good thing about have the OEM is like, like my wife, she likes to drive this car, and whenever she wants to have fun, like she can put in M1 and then she can use that functionality. Versus, if you're an open or close, you're either going to be open or closed and you have to put the controller. So this basically puts back control into the car. And it's also good, so, whenever they go for service or whatever, I can just put an OEM. So right now, what we're going to do is, for the purposes of this cold start, we're going to put it in open. And let's triple tap here. And let's remote start. So as you guys can see, it's a lot. This is starting in efficient mode, and it's a lot louder. Sounds very deep now. So obviously I remember how this car used to sound with the resonator delete, and honestly it sounds kind of like that with the open. For obviously valves closed. But this is pretty nice. And then let's put it closed now. work while remote start. Let's try that. That's something new that I learned. Let's try turning on the car here. Now let's try again. Yeah, I guess that's something that I didn't know. Once it's in remote start mode, I guess it doesn't change. Alright, so now that we're here inside the car, we can do some in-car sound clips, and then we'll do some exterior sound clips as well. Is that a bug in my car? Oh, it's just on the outside. Alright, so I guess the first thing we'll do is we'll put an OEM, and let's open up the setup screen here. So this is efficient mode right now. So I think this is really good because I remember on my M5, whenever you start up the car, it would always start in open mode. So now, obviously the standard setting is to open in efficient or closed mode, which is good too for your neighbors and stuff. But sometimes I do like hearing the startup burbles, especially when it has when you're in a Sport Plus mode. So now let's put it. There's no point in putting it in Sport. Let's put it in Sport Plus now, and then what we can do is let's start with valves closed. So this, obviously you could have done this before by doing Sport Plus and then pressing that. Then now let's go to the OEM setting. So this is your OEM BMW setting, Sport Plus, and the M valves on. So you can hear little baby pops, right? And then now let's fully open it. Yeah, you can hear like just that initial 1 to 2,000 RPM. It's a lot more deeper. Probably, let's try doing this. Let's try keeping it on and then switch to OEM. Yeah, you can hear it. That is pretty cool. All right, let's do some driving with it now.